All right, good night, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the FitMAW Show. We are live. I'm your host, Jason Craig, and in this episode, we are going to be discussing that miracle formula, let's call it that miracle thing, that is responsible for helping you to reduce your joint pains, reduce those episodes of asthma and allergies, and even help you to lose weight. So, we're going to be getting started at the top of the hour. We're 2 minutes away. Just give it folks a couple minutes or two to jump on, and then we're going to get this show rolling. Now, in the meantime, wherever you join us from, let me know in the comments below. Drop your name, your country, and so I can give you a special shout out. While we wait for everyone to jump on, go ahead, drop your name, drop the country you're signing from, so I can give you a special shout out. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that share button. Bring your friends over to this live FitMAW show, and let's get this information out to the world so others can benefit just like yourselves. All right, so we got Alan Sinclair from, Sinclair from Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome, good to have you. Good to have you, Aline. And while you ladies do that, let me just want to give, as I say, one or two more Mississippis for everyone to jump on, and then we're going to kick this thing off. It's going to be pretty interesting tonight, and it may be simpler, but it will surprise you. All right, so we got Bruno from Grenada. Good to have you. We got Edlin from Grenada. Awesome. Good to have you. Good to have you all. Shona. Hi, Shona. How you doing? Welcome. Good to have you. Um, Always a pleasure having you on these episodes. All right, ladies, we're going to be kicking this thing off pretty soon. I'm just waiting for the top of the hour, and then I'm going to go live. Well, you know what I'm saying. Start the show off. Whew, this is fun. And while we're at it, I'm going to go over the preliminary episodes where we are at. All right, so we got everyone coming on now, coming up to the top of the hour. Let's just send out one more. All right, sweet. Send this. All right, good. So we are there. It is 8 o'clock. We have to give preference. We have to acknowledge those who made the effort to be here early. So with that said, I'm not going to delay the show. I'm going to keep it moving. I know there's a replay. So if you miss the live, you're going to be able to watch that replay. So what is responsible for helping you to reduce your joint pains, reduce those episodes of asthma and allergies, and even improve your weight? We are going to be looking at that in tonight's episode. My name is Jason Craig from the lovely island of Grenada. I'm the founder here at FitMAW, the host of the FitMAW Show. Now, we are on a mission to help mothers and wives create a body that they are proud of. And in tonight's episode, we're going to be touching another episode on that formula of rejuvenating the body and, more importantly, helping you to get that body that you are proud of. Now, from this episode going forward, I'm going to be doing a lot of these, if you want to call them the body rebuild episodes. So we're going to be looking at different aspects, because when it comes to losing weight, getting in shape, that is just one part of the puzzle. The ultimate goal for you, and most of us here, is to become healthier, to live longer, right? That's the ultimate goal. Because if it's just primary weight loss, then there are so much ways that you can actually use to lose weight. Some of them not necessarily healthy, but you'll actually get the end result. And then when you get there, what next? So I like to keep this a little bit more holistic. Losing weight is just one part of it. There are so much more things involved, and everyone likes to start there, so I have no problem starting there. But my goal is to get you all to live longer, healthier lives. When it comes to that, your health is built up on different pillars. So there are things you must get in place before you actually can say that you are living your best life and that you can say you are living a healthy life. Let me just give you an example, right? Weight loss. You can lose weight using stress. If you got excess stress in your life, like you're going through some stuff, some people react that way by losing weight. Hey, Michaela, good to have you. Hey, sis, how you doing? Good to have you. Right? So some people react that way by losing weight. Now, that stress could come from relationship issues, marital issues. It could also come from, we are in a case here now in COVID where persons are losing their job and they're becoming stressed out, right? So that is causing people to be to go overboard, and some persons lose weight that way. Now, I'm going somewhere with this. Another way you can actually lose weight is from going on extreme starvation diets. So you guys have heard them, like the 500 calorie diet. There's the juicing diet where you just drink juice, that's all, right? There is the, I heard one of this recently was like apple cider vinegar, cayenne pepper, and water. That's all you're drinking, right? And there are so much of these fad diets. Now, the end result is still the same because the end result is weight loss. Now, you think about this. If you lose weight because of being overly stressed, if you lose weight by starving your body, not dieting, not fasting, starving your body, right? If you lost weight because of a sickness, it's like a debilitating sickness, the result is still the same. You have lost weight, but ask yourself this question: are you healthy? When you have got to the finish line, which is weight loss, are you healthy? And is this something that can be sustained long term? If not, then you are simply going to rebound and go back to that original place where you once started. So that is why I say our goal is not just to help you to lose weight. We want you to lose weight, be healthier, and live longer. Now, with that said, when it comes to your health is built up on different pillars, right? There are certain things that must be in place to ensure that you are healthy. One is, of course, your nutrition. Your nutrition needs to be on point. Next is your rest. You need to be sure that you're sleeping and resting. Because if you're not doing that, then you are not recharging, you're not fueling the body with things that it needs to prepare for the day ahead, to fix the damages that were done during that previous day, and to empower you to deal with challenges in the form of germs, bacteria, viruses for the next day. As a result, it's not going to work out, right? Sunlight, that's also a good one. Fresh air, right? Temperance, all these are things that your health are built upon. And once all these are in place, then you can truly say that you are healthy. But we never want to take an aggressive approach by going after everything one time. So tonight's episode, we are going to be looking at one of those pillars of health. One of those pillars that is responsible, like I said, to help you reduce joint pain, to help reduce those episodes of asthma and also allergies, and the one that we're all interested in, to help you to lose weight. And that is none other than water. Now, yep, that's the big secret right there. It is water. But listen, I'm going to be showing you guys how important this simple thing is. We take water for granted, but if we were to supply our body with sufficient water, a lot of our ailments, our problems will quickly vanish, right? Now, before I get into it, let me give you some stats. The body is 70% water. The muscles are 75% water. The brain cells are 85% water. The blood is 82% water. The bones are 25% water. However, the cartilages are 80% water. Now, what is the dominant thing you all notice here? Obviously, majority of your body is made up of water. Now, I'm gonna pause here and I'm gonna just give some special shout outs. So we got Jenny Lynn from Trinidad, we've got Sister Joan from Antigua, we've got my best friend Shabaka from Canawan, that is one of the Grenadine Islands in St. Vincent, that makes up St. Vincent Grenadines. We've got Makeda, my sister from Grenada, good to have you. Trisha from Grenada, so great to have you all. Now, while you're here, go ahead and share this link. Let's get some more persons on this live and share this message around. So, the dominant thing here is that all of these, Veronica, good to have you, all of these are dominated, or water makes up majority of these. Now, here are some interesting stats. you can actually survive, right, 5 to 7 weeks without food. 5 to 7 weeks. Simple, no issue. It has been done. Persons have actually demonstrated the validity of that statement. And some have even gone longer. Let's good to have you from Trinidad. However, in the chat below, let me get you all engaged. How long do you think you can survive without water? Now, I said earlier, you can survive 5 to 7 weeks without food. Now, my question to you is, in the chat below, whether you're on Facebook, whether you are on YouTube, how long do you think that you can survive without water? Now, while I wait for the answer, let me bring up a musical break here. Hope I can get to YouTube fast enough so we can have like a musical minute to give you all some time to load up the answers. How long do you think you can survive without water? Let me hear it in the chat below. Everybody engage. Sherilyn, good to have you from Trinidad. Go ahead and engage. How long do you think you can survive without water? I'm waiting for an answer. Okay, all right, so we got Makeda, 3 days. Jenilyn, 2 days. All right, let me give a few more persons a minute. If you just join us, Chan Diaz, good to have you. It's been a while. I hope you and the family are good there in Trinidad. Great to have you. So the question is, you can survive 5 to 7 days without food. How long can you survive without water? All right, let me bring the music in. I'm gonna give you all like 1 minute, right? Yeah, it's like our 1 minute warm up right here. All right, so we got some answers coming in. I'm gonna read them out shortly, right? We got 30 seconds left. Emma, good to have you. Jacqueline Graham, good to have you. Listra, ha! Good to have you. 15 seconds left. How long can you survive without water? Sandra, 2 days. Shabaka, 3 to 5 days. Wow, okay. Oh, these guys are getting close. Nathaniel Wati, my brother, how are you doing? Good to have you. Good to have you. So how long can you survive without water? Blessings, my brother. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's it. Time is up. All right. So let me read the answers here. I'm going to put some up on the screen. All right. Makeda says 3 days. Jenny Lynn says 2 days. Chanel Joseph, good to have you. 3 days. Hema, 2 days. Jacqueline, 2 weeks. Sherilyn, 2 days. Listra, 3 to 4 days. Sandra, 2 days. Shabaka, 3 to 5 days. Arlene says you can't survive without water. Joan says 1 day. Nathaniel Wati says 3 days. And Jeanette says 3 days. All right. So, y'all ready for the answer? Oh my God. Veronica, you are on the money. That is the answer. 5 days without water. You can survive. You can survive up to 5 days without water. Right? So that is the answer. And again, these are like general numbers because from person to person will be different. But 5 days is the absolute max that you can survive without water. So water is definitely one of those miracle cures. From what we discussed earlier, water is the majority nutrient in your body. Everything is made up of water, right? So I'm going to share with you something, right? We all here live in the Caribbean, and we have these days when CWSA in St. Vincent, WASA in Trinidad, NAWASA in Grenada, APUA, APUA in Antigua, I don't remember Dominica and Barbados, right? When these companies say to us that there is a shortage of water, and from 8 o'clock to 8 p.m., 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., they're going to be locking off the water. Now, what is one of the first things that you do when they lock off the water? Obviously, you start storing water, and then you start being more careful with your usage of water. In other words, you start prioritizing. So there are certain things that you would normally do when there is a supply of water that you will have to eliminate, right? Now, here's the thing. Your body does the exact same thing when the water supply is short. Now, because we live in an irrigated environment, the only reason the water supply is short is because we are not supplying intentionally the body with that water, right? And when that happens, when there is a limited supply of water in our body starts to do the exact same thing. It starts to ration. And there are the big five that your body ensures that it supplies with water. And these are the brain, the lungs, the heart, the liver, and the kidneys. The brain, the lungs, the heart, the liver, and the kidneys. Whenever your body has a short supply of water, everything else becomes secondary and the water moves to these big five. So if you find that you're hearing those joints rubbing, it's not on the list. If you find you're getting acid reflux, it's not on the list. And what you're going to realize as we go through this discussion here tonight, or go through this show here tonight, is that the reason that is happening is because, whether intentionally or unintentionally, we are not supplying the body with sufficient water. And as a result, because the body now has to ration that water, other parts are being adversely affected, right? So there are certain health conditions that are complicated by dehydration. There are certain health conditions that are complicated by dehydration. And the first one I'm going to start with is joint pain and arthritis. Now, remember earlier I said that the cartilage, that's that smooth area in the joints that is responsible for that free movement, is made up of 80% water, right? In a scenario when your body is not properly hydrated, it is not one of the big five that we mentioned earlier before: the brains, the lungs, the heart, the liver, the kidneys. And because it is made up of 80% water, and we are now in a situation where that water is not being supplied to it, it starts to lose water. And as it starts to lose water, it starts to lose lubrication. As a result, you start to hear that screeching, or that when you need that WD-40 spray song, right? That's what you hear in your joints. As a result, and remember, we're going to compound these things with time, right? As a result, when it starts to dehydrate, remember it's 80% water, when it starts to dehydrate, now it starts to rub more. As it starts to rub more, friction increases. As friction increases, it breaks down. Now, if you were dehydrated for a day, maybe a week, it wouldn't be a problem. However, when this is something that is going on for 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, you can begin to see how detrimental your joints, or how detrimental it is to your joints when you neglect to input that water in your body. So if you find that you are suffering constantly with joint problems, if you find you are, or you have been recently diagnosed with arthritis and it's getting worse, check your water intake, because that 80% that it's made up of is probably now down to 60 or 70 or even less. As a result, it's breaking up, it's rubbing together, it's breaking down, and it's only going to get worse if you do nothing about it. Right? Remember I said there are certain health conditions that can be complicated by water. Now let's move to number 2, and this one is a very popular one in this part of the world, in this neck of the woods: high blood pressure. Now, do you know that dehydration can actually cause or lead to high blood pressure and its related diseases, which includes a stroke? Now, anybody, let me just test your memory. And I'll give you a tolerance of ±5. In the chat below, how much percentage of your blood is made up of water? In the chat below, how much percentage of your blood is made up of water? My wife is in the background saying 75. Somebody was not listening, but okay. All right, in the chat below, how much percentage of your blood is made up of water? And I'll give you a tolerance of plus or minus 5. Right? Go ahead. Let me hear in the chat below. So, hey, I'm going to go back and call these names because now you're on. Joan, Arlene, Sandra, Listra, Wati, Shadina. All right, so Veronica says 65%. Okay, keep going. Should we play a musical break again because I can like it? Kind of keeps us engaged here. How much percentage of your blood is made up of water? You only got 15 seconds. In the comments, come on, let's go. All right, okay, cool. All right, so we got some answers here. Wow, okay. All right, cool. Good job, good job. Alicia, 80. Edlin, 80. Jenny Lynn, 82%. Okay, so the answer is 82%. Jenny Lynn, you're spot on. I'm still going to give credit to Edlin. I'm still going to give credit to Alicia because you girls came within plus or minus 5 points, right? So 82% of your blood is made up of water. Now, with that said, when you are dehydrated, now do you remember the big 5? Let me go again. They are the brain, the lungs, the heart, the liver, the kidneys, right? These are the big 5 that the water gets rationed to. Now, you didn't hear the blood in that. What does that mean? As a result of being dehydrated, that 82% starts to drop. As that 82% starts to drop, your blood thickens. As your blood thickens, your heart has to pump harder. As a result, the overall pressure is going to go up. By just becoming dehydrated, you can raise your blood pressure. Now let's go a step further. What about if you have a history of high blood pressure? So even without being dehydrated, you've already been diagnosed with high blood pressure. Now, you have just added fuel to fire. By not paying attention to your water intake, by allowing your body to become dehydrated, you have compounded the problem. Now, you are now putting yourself at risk of heart-related diseases. You're also putting yourself at risk, depending on your diet, to a stroke by simply becoming dehydrated. Dehydration complicates current health problems, and continual dehydration will create new health problems. You guys see how important this thing is? That is why the world has about, 70 or 80% water. The Lord knew water was important for us, so he made sure we had ample supply, right? So my goal here is not to scare you, but my goal here is to impress you or impress upon you to uptake that very important nutrient in your body. So let's move to number 3, digestive problems. Now the mucus layer within your stomach is made up of about 98% water, right? So that mucus layer helps to dilate or to break down the acids in your stomach, right? As a result, once you are hydrated, then you wouldn't have these things like acid burn and stomach burn, etc., like we call it here. When you become dehydrated, this mucus layer, water level is reduced. As a result, you now start to find you're experiencing these digestive disorders like acid reflux, right, and the likes. So by simply uptaking water, you can ensure that mucus layer remains hydrated, and as a result, the acids are neutralized and prevent from these acid reflux. Now we're still moving along. Asthma. A lot of us here know someone with asthma, has asthma, or suffered with asthma at some point in their life. Asthma and allergies pretty much go in the same categories. Now, persons with asthma and allergies, generally speaking, they have high levels of histamine, right? Which is why when you have allergies, they give you antihistamines. Now, a study showed that when water levels are increased, follow me now, when water levels are increased, histamine levels decrease. So they work inverse to each other. As water level goes up, histamine levels goes down. And remember I said earlier, persons with asthma and allergies tend to have higher histamine levels. So a simple fix to your asthma and these repeated attacks you're getting can be simply improving or increasing your water intake so that that histamine level will go down and reduce your chances of having these repeated asthma attacks. Now, let me show you something, and this is especially important for my ladies, right? If you remove water from plums, you get prunes. If you remove water from plums, you get prunes. If you remove water from grapes, you get raisins. If you remove water from skin, guess what you get? Wrinkles. So you don't need to go out and buy that new wrinkle-free cream and be doing all these facials. You just need to get your water intake up because your skin is designed to be elastic, right? However, when it is dehydrated, then you start to get this wrinkle, this aged look. And a good example of this is persons who do diving as a living. You guys know that salt water is causes the skin to dry out. So persons who spend a lot of time as divers, professional divers, maybe dive instructors, you find that they wrinkle fast and they tend to age faster, right? That is an exaggerated example of what happens when you yourself do not hydrate. And then you're worrying about, why am I looking so old? Why am I getting so much wrinkles? Simple. Your skin is crying out for water. And all of these things that you see here, when you get dehydrated around your lips, around your mouth get dry, remember what I said earlier. The water is now rationed to the big five. So this is not one of the big five. So it starts to show up here. It starts to show up on your skin. And these are like warning signs. Imagine you're driving in a car and the check engine light comes on. You got two options. You can ignore that light, keep driving. You can pull the fuse, take the light off, keep driving, or you can pull over or get your mechanic to look at it. So all these signs that you're seeing, the wrinkles, the joint pains, the digestive issues, the high blood pressure, it could be simple warning signs of the body telling you, hey, hydrate me. And if you continue to ignore it, then unfortunately you will have to pay the consequences. My advice to you, I want to have you around for quite a while, pay attention to your body. Pay attention to the signs. When these warning signs go off, stop. Figure out why is this happening to me. If you're experiencing the same problems over and over and over, it obviously means there is something you're not doing or something you're doing wrong, right? So don't just ignore it, or worse, go and buy a medication, right? You never have like for example, when you have headache, people go and buy Tylenol or Aleve or Panadol. There is no Tylenol or Aleve deficiency in your body, right? There is simply a water or nutrient deficiency. So if you fix the cause, then the effect will not repeat itself. If you want a different result, then you need to change what you are doing from the beginning, right? And that is the approach I like to take. I don't like this symptoms treating business, right? You got a pain, you run to the doctor, they give you a pain medication. Now, my question would be, what caused the pain in the first place? Because what you would realize with most diseases, right? You may relieve yourself of the pain, and it may appear that disease has been cured, but all it does is just transfer and manifest itself in another part of the body. And repeated manifestations after a while could become detrimental or worse, fatal. So instead of fixing symptoms, go to the cause and try and get that worked out, right? Especially in the time that we're living in. So we're still moving along. Another thing that water does is help to improve your memory. Remember I said earlier, the brain is made up of 85% water. So if it has that dominant nutrient, it is obviously going to function better. If you find yourself recently having other senior moments, then it's probably that your water intake can be low. Now, there could be other factors, but let's start with the easiest one. The easiest thing for all of us to do is to pick up some water and drink it. Now, I'm going to show you at the end of this how to calculate your water intake based on your body weight. All right? Another thing that water does is to help you to lose water. And there are multiple pathways it does this by. Now, the first one is obvious. It helps you to decrease appetite. So if you want to drink an 8-ounce glass of water before having your main meal, like 30 minutes before your main meal, is actually going to help you to feel fuller. As a result, you're going to eat less at that sitting. As a result, you're going to reduce your calories ingested, right? So that's one of the pathways. The other pathway is that when your body, actually I want to read this one because I have it right here. I want to read this one, right? When you are dehydrated, your body secretes aldosterone. Now that's a hormone that causes water retention. So it's basically your body is realizing that less water is coming in, so we are going to have to hold on to that limited water supply that we have. That's the result, that's why you gain that water weight. Now, when you rehydrate or when you up your water intake, your body realizes, hey, well, a lot of water is coming in now. There is no need for us to go into that stress when we hold water, so your body releases that excess water. As a result, if you stand on scale, you're actually going to lose water. Even though it is water weight, you're actually going to lose water. With that water being flushed, also toxins go out. And you know, when you have a toxic buildup in your body, you are preparing yourself for a host of other diseases beyond weight loss. So that's the second pathway by which it does that, right? So you actually help to release that excess water. You actually detoxify your body. And the main pathway is that it helps you feel fuller. As a result, you ingest less food and calories, all right? We're moving along. So, with that being said, let me ask you all today, in the comments below, and I won't play the music, I'm gonna just allow y'all to roll with it. In the comments below, how much glasses of water do you think you took in today? You don't have to be exact, but just approximately. How much glasses of water did you ingest today? Should I play the music? No, I'm not gonna play the music. Just put it in the comments below, right? And while you're doing that, I'm now gonna move to the formula to show you all how to calculate your water intake based on your weight, right? So how to calculate your water intake based on your weight. Now, if you have done any sort of training with me in the past, you probably came across this formula already. Hopefully you have not forgotten it, but if you have, I'm here to remind you. So the formula is take your weight in pounds, divide it by 2, and the answer will give you in ounces how much water you should be drinking. So take your weight in pounds, divide it by 2, and the answer will give you in ounces how much water you should be drinking. So let's just do a quick example here. So let's just say you weigh 180 pounds, right? You divide that by 2, that's going to be 90. Now 90 ounces of water is what you need to be drinking per day, right? And if you take a 9-ounce glass, then that's just 10 glasses. Now, here's the important part, because I don't want you to go out and start drinking water like crazy, right? Because then you'll run into a next issue of mineral depletion. So you have to remember there are multiple pathways by which your body gets water. One, obviously, is by just drinking water. Number 2 is from the food we eat. Certain foods have high water content, and as a result, that water is intake. So like our vegetables, our fruits, these have high water content, and you benefit from eating those as well, right? And next one, and this one I just learned yesterday actually. I was doing a seminar, long story short, and they came across that one. You actually ingest water by bathing, I didn't know that, right? I actually learned that yesterday. Because your skin is actually porous, your skin is actually an organ. So when you are bathing, your body actually takes in some water there, right? So be careful as to what you bathe in. That is something I'll put out there. So these are the three ways in which your body absorbs water. Through drinking it, through the foods you eat, and of course through bathing. With that being said, if after your calculation you realize that you need to be taking in at minimum, let's say the 180-pound example that we just gave, 90 ounces of water, keep in mind that these other ways will account for that water intake. So you don't need to go and drink 9 ounces, just also you can burn up your vegetables, burn up your food content, and know that you'll be getting some water from there. A next point to note, this is a baseline level. So that 90 ounces is a baseline level. Because when you add other factors to it, so for example, if you are working out, you are obviously going to be losing more water than normal. So you must account for that. So you take in a bit more water. If you are working in the sun, you are going to be losing more water, right? So you account for that, right? And persons who work in air condition is like one of those silent killers, man. Because this is why air condition dehydrates you, but you never feel thirsty. So if you work in air conditioning, your body is actually losing water, which is why when you're air conditioned, your skin gets dry. That's a signal to tell your body is dehydrated. However, from a sensory point of view, you never feel thirsty. So you are dehydrating, but you're not getting the warning signs, which I find personally dangerous, right? So if you are in air conditioning, ensure that you're taking in sufficient water. Now, there are certain times in the day that you should not drink water because even though water is a good thing, taken at the wrong time, it can have a different outcome. So for example, you do not want to drink like a lot of water with meals. Here is the reason. When food is ingested, the food is broken down first in the mouth, mechanical breakdown, then it hits the stomach where it gets into that chemical breakdown. Acids are released, hydrochloric acid, etc. When you ingest water with that, you are disturbing that chemical breakdown process. There's a reason why they use hydrochloric acid and not alkaline, right? So when you are taking in water, you are diluting that acid. As a result, it's not able to properly break down the food. As a result, you are not able to get the nutrients, the full nutrient composition from that food. So you don't want to be drinking water or any liquid for that matter while you are eating. The next time you don't want to be drinking water, and again, I'm assuming that you go to sleep in the night. Nurses will be a different story who work through the night. You don't want to be drinking water like after 7 p.m. or even 3 hours before bed. Because even though you will be hydrated, you will be disturbing another pillar of your health, which we will be discussing in a future show, and that is sleep and rest. Because when you're taking water before bed, you're going to find yourself waking up to urinate frequently, and this will in turn disturb your sleep, right? So that will lead to another problem. So you want to tend to cut off your water 7 p.m. before bed, provided that you go to sleep within 11 p.m., right? Now, if you're a nurse and you work short at night, then this obviously doesn't apply to you because you need to drink water because of your activity levels, right? So that's why I made that specification. A lot of our FitMAWs are nurses, so I have to also put that in there. And some great times to drink water is upon rising. And when you wake, you want to drink warm water, right? And take it a step forward if you want to get that fat burn effect. Just squeeze a bit of lime in it. So warm water, lime in the morning, that would be a really great kickstart to your body because you've been dehydrated all night and the body, as I said, as you realize the average number is about 80% water. You want to put that back in upon rising, right? So make sure you drink water upon waking. And before meals, 30 minutes before meals, the primary benefit to that is that it will help you. This is specifically for those on a weight loss regimen. It will actually help you to ingest less food. As a result, your calorie intake will go down and you'll tip the scale to more of a weight loss, right? So if you find yourself overeating at meals, try adding some extra glasses of water 30 minutes before meals, and that should help reduce your caloric intake, all right? And with that being said, that brings us to the end of this episode of the FitMAW Show. I want to thank you all for jumping on. Those from Dominica, Antigua, St. Vincent, Trinidad, Barbados, Grenada. We know we have a very diverse and CARICOM-based audience here, so we just want to thank you all for jumping on. My action step for you is drink more water. You have the formula. Take your body weight in pounds, divide it by 2, and that will give you in ounces how much water you're supposed to drink. You'll be like, just I don't know how much ounces my bottle contains. Simple. Go on YouTube, right, or Google. Your bottle might say 1 liter. Just go on go on Google, type in how much liter in an ounce, and just do the conversion. So if you have a 1 liter bottle, whatever that is, find out how much ounces is in that, and then you know how much bottles of that you should be drinking per day. That's the easiest way to do it, right? That's the way I always recommend. Find something that's measurable. So if you normally use a standard water bottle, just find how much ounces in that, divide that by the amount of ounces you got from your calculation. I find like I'm sounding very confusing here now. If your calculation calls for 90 ounces, find out how much ounce the bottle that you normally use contains. Right? So if it contains 10 ounces, then you know 10 divided by 90 is 9. So you need to drink that bottle 9 times. Right? Of course, you could be getting supplemental from your fruits and your vegetables. Ensure that you also bring that into the calculation. So bring your water intake up. And before you start going on and trying medications and all these issues, if you're suffering with joint issues, asthma, high blood pressure, digestive issues, poor memory, weight loss you're looking to get, start by bringing water. It's cheap, it's free, and it's available to you. So that would be the main thing I want you all to take away from here tonight. Bring up your water intake, ensure that you are at least hitting your minimum, and start there. There are so much more pillars of health. We'll be going through them all in these next few shows. Every Sunday we're here. If this is the first time you join us, we are here every Sunday at 8 p.m. on YouTube, also on Facebook. So jump on. We're going to be looking at different pillars of health. And let's start with the water this week. Next week, I'm going to be showing you like different sources of water. Also, some of the dangers of some of the popular waters that we use, like tap water. Some of the dangers of chlorine that is in our water, or fluoride, depending on where you are at. And show you how you can actually filter that water to make sure that you're getting the best water in your system. Because if water is 80% of your body, the last thing you want to do is put 80% of dangerous water in your body. You want to put 80% of clean, soft, pure water in your body so that you can have the full effect and full benefit from water. Anyway, y'all take care. It was great having you here tonight. For those of you on the FitMAW studio, we've got our workout tomorrow at 5 a.m. And look out for that. The links will be dropped in our private group. For those of you who would like to actually start a workout program, but you don't know what to do, where to start, we do have an online fitness studio. It's one of the Caribbean's first online fitness studio. And just PM me below, drop a message. Our WhatsApp is there, 1-385-743-1906. I'll show you guys how to get enrolled, how to get started. And until then, have yourselves an awesome night. We'll be here next Sunday at 8 p.m. I'm your host, Jason Craig, founder of FitMAW, where we help mothers and wives create a body that they are proud of.